February arrives with a moon that guides us through a month of transformation and growth. We are here to accompany you every step of the way, as the moon not only illuminates the sky but also awakens new energies. This month, each lunar phase will be an opportunity to release what no longer serves you, connect with your intuition, and prepare the path for what's to come. February 1st. The moon rises at 9:32, reaches its peak at 15:41, and sets at 21:52. With 14.4% illumination and an age of 3.7 days, this waxing moon encourages us to plant new ideas and projects. February 2nd. Today, the moon rises at 10:10, reaches its highest point at 16:29, and sets at 22:51. With 23.8% illumination and an age of 4.8 days, the energy continues to grow. It's a great time to focus on the details of your plans. February 3rd. The moon rises at 10:49, reaches fullness at 17:17, and sets at 23:50. With 34.7% illumination and an age of 5.9 days, take advantage of this phase to build and consolidate. Everything is falling into place. February 4th. Today, the moon rises at 11:30 and peaks at 18:09. With 46.4% illumination and an age of 7.0 days, we're still in the waxing moon. Action and growth are at their peak. February 5th. The moon begins its journey at 0:52, rises at 12:15, and reaches its zenith at 19:03. With 58.1% illumination and an age of 8.1 days, we celebrate the first quarter. This is a key point to make important decisions. February 6th. Today, the moon rises at 1:56, reaches its peak at 13:06, and sets at 20:01. With 69.3% illumination and an age of 9.2 days, we are in the waxing gibbous phase. Use this time to give a big push to your projects. February 7th. The moon rises at 3 o'clock, shines brightly at 14:01, and sets at 21:01. With 79.2% illumination and an age of 10.3 days, the energy is at its highest. It's time to push your limits. February 8th. The moon rises at 4:02, reaches fullness at 15:01, and sets at 22:01. With 87.6% illumination and an age of 11.4 days, feel how the full moon fills your days with inspiration and creativity. February 9th. Today, the moon rises at 5 o'clock, shines at 16:02, and sets at 22:59. With 93.9% illumination and an age of 12.4 days, we are close to the full moon. It's a great time to acknowledge your progress and express gratitude. February 10th. The moon rises at 5:51, reaches its peak at 17:03, and sets at 23:52. With 98% illumination and an age of 13.5 days, its energy is nearly complete. Take time to celebrate your achievements. February 11th. From midnight, the moon guides us, shining brightly. It rises at 6:37 and reaches fullness at 1800 hours. With 99.2% illumination and an age of 14.0 days, we are on the verge of the full moon. It's a perfect day to let your emotions flow. February 12th. The full moon reaches its peak at 7:17, filling the day with 99.8% light. At 14.5 days old, this is the time of culmination and fullness. Take advantage of this moment to reflect and enjoy the fruits of your efforts. February 13th. The moon rises at 1:25, reaches its zenith at 7:52, and sets at 19:46. With 99.4% illumination and an age of 15.5 days, we are in the waning gibbous phase. It's a time to release what no longer serves you. February 14th. Today, the moon rises at 2:07, peaks at 8:25, and sets at 20:36. With 96.9% illumination and an age of 16.4 days, the waning energy continues. It's time to let go of what has completed its cycle. February 15th. The moon rises at 2:47, reaches its peak at 8:56, and sets at 21:24. With 92.6% illumination and an age of 17.4 days, the waning moon continues. Make space for the new by letting go of the old. February 16th. The moon rises at 3:26, reaches its peak at 9:27, and sets at 22:12. With 86.6% illumination and an age of 18.3 days, the waning energy continues. This is a great time to reflect and prepare for new beginnings. February 17th. The moon rises at 4:05, peaks at 9:59, and sets at 23:01. With 79.3% illumination and an age of 19.2 days, the waning energy persists. This is a time for reordering and renewal. February 18th. The moon rises at 4:46, peaks at 10:33, and sets at 23:51. With 71% illumination and an age of 20.1 days, the waning phase is at its peak. This is an ideal day to make adjustments and close cycles. February 19th. Today, the moon rises at 5:30, reaching its peak at 11:10. With 61.8% illumination and an age of 21.0 days, the waning moon continues its course. Use this time to finish what's pending. February 20th. The moon rises at 0:44, reaches its peak at 6:17, and sets at 11:51. With 52.1% illumination and an age of 22.0 days, this is the time to reflect on your accomplishments and make final touches on your plans. February 21st. The moon rises at 1:39, reaches its peak at 7:08, and sets at 12:38. With 42.2% illumination and an age of 22.9 days, the waning moon advances. This is a good day to release any emotional burdens. February 22nd. Today, the moon rises at 2:36, reaches its peak at 8:03, and sets at 13:30. With 32.3% illumination and an age of 23.9 days, the waning moon continues, lighting the way toward closure. Prepare for rebirth. February 23rd. The moon rises at 3:32, reaches its peak at 9 o'clock, and sets at 14:28. With 22.8% illumination and an age of 24.9 days, the waning moon continues its decline. This is the time to cleanse both physically and emotionally. February 24th. The moon rises at 4:26, reaches its peak at 9:58, and sets at 15:29. With 14.4% illumination and an age of 25.9 days, the waning moon invites us to reflect and take the final steps before renewal. February 25th. The moon rises at 5:16, reaches its peak at 10:55, and sets at 16:32. With 7.4% illumination and an age of 27.0 days, we're nearing the new moon. Use this time to reflect on what you are about to release. February 26th. Today, the moon rises at 6:03, reaches its peak at 11:49, and sets at 17:35. With 2.4% illumination and an age of 28.1 days, the waning moon enters its final phase before renewal. It's a good day to let go of the old and prepare for the new. February 27th. The moon reaches its minimum expression at 6:46, peaks at 12:41 and sets at 18:36. With 0.1% illumination and an age of 29.2 days, this is the new moon. It's a time for introspection and new beginnings. February 28th. The moon begins its cycle at 7:26, reaches its peak at 13:31, and sets at 19:37. With 0.9% illumination and an age of 0.9 days, we are in the waxing moon. This is the first step toward growth and manifestation. Just like the moon, our energy is constantly growing and transforming. This month, allow the lunar energy to inspire your renewal, releasing what no longer serves you and creating space for the new. Each lunar phase invites you to reflect, grow, and release what holds you back. Remember that, like the moon, we can always be reborn, reach our goals, and start anew. May this lunar cycle inspire you to connect with your essence, dream big, and manifest all that you desire. We'll see you in the next cycle with renewed energy and hearts full of light.